Hi, friends. So, this week I thought I was making a simple little video about painting on wooden objects that I have in my craft room. What I actually made is the most random, unplanned, and weird creation ever. I'm very much a planner, and even though I don't always know how I'm going to get there, I always know what I want my project's destination to be. But this project, I had absolutely no idea the entire time. No map, no street signs, just making turns whenever I felt like it. Okay, enough talk. Let's get into it. So, this is a wooden box that I've had in my craft stuff for years and years and years. And I just sort of keep different things in it. It's got a wonky little latch, it's a little dusty inside, it's got a few chips, and the bottom is coming off a little bit over here. But I'm going to paint on it and give it a new life. First, I wiped it down just to get some of the yuckalies off of it. And then I tried, not that hard, to get most of the grossness out of the inside. I blew the dust out, which is never a good idea. I sanded a few of the rough edges where it got a little chewed up, and then wiped it down again. To fix a couple of spots where the wood has splintered or is just coming apart, I used my favorite glue that I use for almost everything. I let it dry overnight, sanded off the excess, and then wiped it off again. So that's why there's a wet spot. I didn't just randomly lick it. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to paint on this. I had a few ideas that were kind of cute, but not anything that I was absolutely in love with. So what I finally decided to do was pick random colors and paint whatever comes to mind. So I literally just searched random color generator and found this website. That doesn't count, I was just demonstrating for you. Let's pick the actual color. Pigeon blue. Okay, that's going to be the base color. Except, just kidding, I forgot that I want to gesso this. I have my gesso, but I also decided to try this art masking fluid on the latch to see if it will protect it while I paint so I don't need to tape it off. Ugh, that's gross. Booger ASMR. I've never actually used this stuff, and I know it's meant for like paper and paintings and stuff, but we can experiment. It's not gonna melt the metal. This kind of reminds me of the liquid latex stuff that you use on your cuticles when you paint your nails. I was very into nail art for a hot second. How do you get this stuff out of your brush? Okay, so now I'm gonna gesso this with a rock hard brush that doesn't bend anymore. I should just throw it away, but instead I'll just break its will. I wasn't actually going to paint the inside, but the box is kind of crooked and the paint seeped into the cracks, so I guess I'm just going to paint this lip here. Alright, let's get to the actual colors. I'm trying to mix up this pigeon blue, and I'm using a big boy jar because I'm not a great color mixer and I always end up with way more than I need. Plus, I want to keep this paint for touch-ups. After starting too light, then going too gray, and then adding more and more dark blue, I ended up with this. It's still too light, but it'll darken when it dries, and I ran out of room in the jar, so we're going with it. There's not much to say about it at this point. It's a pretty enough color. It does kind of look like I'm just camouflaging the box against my background, though. Once it all dried, I peeled the masking fluid off. It didn't really come off the cleanest. I'm not sure if it was my painting skills or the paint just chipping as I was pulling the stuff off. But either way, it's going to require touching up. Maybe you're supposed to pull the masking fluid off while the paint is still wet, but if I did that, I'd have to repaint it on for 2 layers of gesso and 2 layers of paint. All in all, it's not the cool hack I thought it would be, but you never know if you don't try. The next random color is raspberry red. And while I mix up that color, let's talk about my plan. So the rules I made up for myself is that after I pick a color, I'm going to paint the first thing that comes to mind. Then I'll pick another color and paint the first thing that comes to mind with that. And so on and so on. until I feel like the box is done. Since this is my game, challenge, whatever, the rules are subject to change at any time. So the first thing that comes to mind with raspberry red is a strawberry. I think the reason that I have strawberries on my mind is because recently someone commented on one of my videos that I always paint strawberry seeds as black, even though they're yellow. And this threw me into a bit of a mini crisis, because I swear I see stuff everywhere with strawberries that have black seeds. So I started paying specific attention every time I see something strawberry themed. And it turns out that they're white and yellow and yes, even black sometimes, but I swear I thought they were always black. It's my new Mandela effect. I do think I'm going to add a rule to this game where at the end I can add details in other colors. I want the bulk of the items to be from random colors, but I don't want to rely on the generator to pick like a green so you can actually tell that these are strawberries. 'Cause right now they kind of look like weird red sunflower seeds. Speaking of random colors, vermilion. Seriously? More red? Okay, well, at least this one is easier since I have a paint tube that literally says vermilion. What comes to mind? No more fruit. Something smaller since we already have this giant strawberry. How about hearts? But hearts that are flowers. What is a vermilion anyway? These flowers look okay, but these two reds together is looking kind of ugly. One is so dark and one is so bright. The next color is black blue. What is black blue? How about a snake? Why? I don't know. Actually, I probably do know. Okay, he kind of looks like a long sperm, but he's actually a snake. This is sort of looking like a weird folk art pattern. I'm not especially into folk art, but I've been watching a lot of Mira Byler lately, and she does a folk art kind of style sometimes, and they always turn out really cute. Now that I said these look like sperm, I can't unsee it. Still have a lot of black paint left, so I'm going to add some more hearts to these heart flowers. Now they kind of look like poppies. Is that what poppies look like? Oh, yeah. I knew it. I'm a genius. And then, because I still have a lot of black left, you know what? I am going to add black strawberry seeds, because I just wanna. This is a new genetically modified strain of strawberries, and the snakes are protecting it because it's so coveted around the world. Alright, enough of that. Let's pick our next color. Brown beige. What is brown? Wood? Branches? Okay, I guess I'm painting branches. I don't know if I like that or not. It kind of looks like the strawberry is coming from the branch. It might be kind of cute if I could add some leaves to it. Let's try it on the sides too. I don't know. It needs more to like balance it out. Let me just add some little baby branches here and there. You know what would look cute on these branches? Cherry blossoms. But I'm not going to do cherry blossoms, but I want to do cherry blossoms. Okay, that's looking better. Next we have graphite gray. I'm not quite sure what to do with this, so to start, I'm going to paint around the top of the lid. Okay, I've got it. Birds. There are gray birds. And I'm going with birds with their wings out, so they kind of fill out more space and I can kind of turn them any direction. They're not the best birds by any means. They look kinda strange. Where's my undo button? Now we have traffic gray. Well, traffic gray A, whatever that means. This color is really similar to the graphite gray, at least how I mixed it, so I'm not really sure what to do with this. I'm just gonna lean into the folk artiness and add some hearts in some of the empty spaces. And strawberry red. Are you kidding me? Another red? How can I possibly add more red? Where am I going to put more red? I cheated. Well, it's not cheating if I make the rules. And I made the rule that I could paint the inside strawberry red. I swear, if this is another red... Cream. Okay, finally something new. I'm going to add some flowers to these branches. These are strawberry blossom flowers. I know they look like cherry blossoms, but they are not cherry blossoms. I swear. See, I looked up a reference and everything. How is this looking so far? Honestly. I don't think I love it yet, but I don't hate it. Silver gray. I'm going to use this silver gray, but I think after that I'm done. We've had 3 grays and 3 reds so far, so I don't think I'm going to continue to tempt fate any further. I really couldn't think of anything else gray to add at this point, so I just added a few more hearts. And I'm calling this part of the game done. I did actually click to see what the next color would have been, and it was red-brown. So good job me for calling it done before that. Like I said before, I am allowing myself to use some paint markers. Allowing myself? Who's gonna stop me? No one cares about the rules of this made-up game. Anyway, I'm gonna use some paint markers to add a few details in and maybe fill in some space and try to make this into something sort of intentional looking. I did add green leaves to the strawberries, and I liked how the green contrasted so well with all of the red that I added a lot more leaves on all of the other flowers. I gave in and added a little yellow to the strawberry seeds, and maybe I do like that better, but I'm not willing to admit it. I added leaves to the snakes because I saw that in a folk art pattern, and then I added some yellow to the birds to try to make them look a little less crazy, but I think I might have just made it worse. Then I used black and white to add a few outlines and details. And then I just filled in the empty spaces with more leaves, swirly shapes, and dots. I touched up all those messy edges and varnished the whole thing with a satin varnish, which actually looks kind of glossy, but whatever. And this weird project is done. I think I kind of love it. It's not something I ever would have thought of to do on my own, and I can't tell if it's really pretty or just really strange, but I like it either way. A friend of mine said that it's kind of garden themed, and I realize he's kind of right. But I actually really liked the process of this. It kind of forced me to keep going even when I didn't know what I was doing. I'm throwing out this challenge for others to try. And if you do, tag me, because I really want to see how it turns out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.